Heather, there's something new for you to experience that you've never experienced before. For the first time ever, we can do audio drops, and you're going to hear our intro music as we do it. So you ready?
I'm excited. Let's do it.
It's time for True Crime. We've had an update.
True crime.
True crime. True crime.
True crime.
True crime.
Your true crime. You want the boring stuff? Shit. You in the wrong place.
I hear shots! Okay, ma'am, calm down. What kind of shots?
I was branching out. That's when the cannibalism started. Eating of the heart and the arm muscle.
People say Ted Bundy didn't show any emotion. There must be something in that. I showed emotion. What people said, see, you really can get violent and angry.
As long as I can reach in your mind and control your fear because you're a coward, I'm going to play any game and I can play on you all the way to the White House.
The cops knew who I was and let me become a serial killer.
Making me feel that they were a part of me.
Give me the fire department or the police or the paramedics. Somebody. I don't care. You decide.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Well, we ain't like everybody else.
Hello and welcome to the You Run podcast, True Crime. My name is Scott.
And I'm Heather, if you couldn't tell.
We are the original True Crime podcast run and controlled by all of you. We cover cases voted for on our Instagram page. And from today, we're extending the ways you can get involved in the show. We're going to push everything for true crime across all of our social media platforms. So that's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Trends, /. Oh, no, it's not Twitter anymore. It's X.
I don't tweet. You know that as you see, like I'll maybe go and like your tweet or Mark's or somebody, but then I'm like, I forget about it for 2 months.
Yeah, but True Crime is now going to go across all of those platforms.
Okay.
So there's going to be lots of ways for you to get involved and give your opinions on upcoming cases and all that kind of stuff. We're making it more about you again. Now Heather is more settled, and Heather is drinking wine again. What wine are you drinking today, Heather?
I'm having a red Merlot blend. So basically, long story short, I got it in Hot Springs, Arkansas. They have their own winery. So they make like 5 or 6 different kinds. And this is one of my favorites. I don't know if it's going to get me tipsy. The white never does, but we're on red. So it's literally true crime with wine because it's red like murder.
It's back to how it should be. True crime with a splash of wine.
I'm already hot.
Oh, no.
No, it's hot here. Honestly, I know we got to get started. As you see, I'm trying to stall because this shit is boring. Anyways, it's hot here. It's like 100 and I don't know, 2, 4.
Wow, that is hot. That's really hot. It's cold here.
Like, well, yeah, don't brag. We know.
You can email the show your thoughts on any case or anything we say. You can do that. yourunpodcast@gmail.com. You can leave a voice note DM on anywhere that will allow you to do that. So you can definitely do it on Instagram. You can do it on Trends, and you can now do it on X as well. We can take anything you say and drop that into the episode, and you can hear your own voice here.
Yes.
For those of you who are interested, this episode is also going out on YouTube. 1 episode a month. Our main case will go out on YouTube.
Forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot. Wait, we're actually putting this episode where I look like Aunt Jemima with this hairstyle.
You don't look like Aunt Jemima.
Yes, I do.
It was in the show notes. I did send it to you.
I know, and I forgot. I was like, are we going to do extended cut, like so I can pretty up? And I didn't even think about it, rereading them. I can't talk. And I was like, oh, it's fine. Like, I just have a T-shirt and, like, bicycle shorts on. It's fine. Yeah,
it's fine. It's not coming out the same day as the main episode. So everyone listening, wherever you're listening, you'll get that. In a week or so's time, you'll get the video version where you can see Heather's Aunt Jemima hair, as she called it.
I don't know why I said that. Hey, that sounds really not PC, I guess. Ugh. Look, I can't help it. It's hot here, and I'm drinking red wine, Y'all don't come at me. I don't care. I live in the South. The South is garbage.
And
whatever.
not only that, I think any of our regular listeners are well aware that we are not the most PC show around.
No, we're not.
We don't
No.
go from a Wikipedia read through. We kind of say what we do, and well, people have got two choices there. They like it and they keep listening, or they don't like it and they go listen somewhere else.
I'm going to be honest with you. If they don't want to listen, like, it's not going to hurt my feelings, to be honest. I mean, like, okay, because if you don't listen, somebody else will. So, okay, bye.
Yeah, exactly that. Anyway, if you are going somewhere else, thank you very much for tuning in. You've given us, you've listened long enough now to give us a tick that we've had a listen, and have fun wherever you go. Anyway, this week we are back off to the 1800s, which we haven't done since the very, very first episode. We're going to see someone who may very well have had 200 victims. He was known as the Beast of Chicago, the Devil of the White City, the Torture Doctor, but most people will know him as America's first serial killer, the infamous H.H. Holmes. This is normally where I would edit together a montage of news clips to give you an idea of what you're in for. In the 1800s, news clips were not a thing. There is no news clips on H.H. Holmes to share with you.
Well, there was barely print media, right?
I know,
like
yeah.
You guys, stop giving us 1800s cases, because honestly, it is hard to fact check this if you ask me. And honestly, we don't even know.
No.
We know nothing. It's all speculation, honestly. And like, we're trying our best to give you true stuff so nobody comes at me or Scott and is like, oh, that's not fucking right. Well, we don't fucking know if H.H. Holmes was real. I mean, he probably was. But
honestly, with this case, we could say H.H. Holmes was an alien who believed in flat Earth, and no one could disprove us.
That's true. I heard that they started saying the aliens are real now, and then I didn't read the article, and one of my friends was like, yeah, so did you hear about aliens? And I was like, bitch, I ain't got time for this shit. I'm trying to breastfeed. I ain't got time for this shit. I don't care. I like the fact that the entire world's been through so much shit over the last 3 years. The government went, by the way, there's aliens. And everyone went, aliens.
Great.
It's like, wait, y'all been talking about aliens for many years, and we talking about the illegal ones, right? And at first I'm like, I know you ain't talking about that, because no. And she's like, no, like aliens, UFOs. And I said, bitch, bye. Look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. And so for me, I got to feel it or see it to believe it. And until that motherfucker comes to my house and it's like, wink, 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 whatever they do, I don't care.
They're pig aliens. They turn up and go, oink, oink, oink.
No, that's just like, there you go. I know what sound they make.
When this case got picked, Heather made the biggest groaning noise ever when I messaged her to say we got H.H. Holmes. She told me, you told me this case was boring. And I'll be honest, I kind of went, yeah, okay. Heather said that about other cases before, and I found them quite interesting.
Yeah.
My God, you were not lying. This is the dullest case we've touched since Jack the Ripper.
I mean, again, we're going to go back to the facts on this real quick before we move on. We don't know for sure. There's no validity in any of it for me, honestly, unless you're like some historian and you have been able to track down someone like an ancestor of him. Like, I don't know how we're really legit supposed to do research on something where we don't for sure know.
And the worst thing about this case is there's so much about this case that is fabricated lies.
Exactly.
And that's kind of where I want to start with this. Before we talk about what he done, I want to talk about things that people genuinely believe H.H. Holmes did or he had that is completely made up. It's complete, to quote a former American president, fake news. It's so many people believe it, and you see, I've watched so many videos of people who are talking about this case, and they're telling me all these wonderful facts that were printed in 1800s papers, and it's all been proven. It's bullshit.
Well, I know, but again, like, we weren't there, and how do you validate that? How can you for sure, Like, did y'all dig up H.H. Holmes and talk to him through a Ouija board? Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, we'll start with the murder castle. So in 1886, H.H. Holmes moved to Chicago. I'm going to refer to him as Triple H for the rest of this because that's easier.
That sounds like a wrestler name.
That
like, I'm about to give you the fucking elbow, bitch.
That is a wrestler name.
Yes.
So he moved there to get away from other crimes he was being pursued for, which we'll talk about later. When he got there, he bought an empty lot. And in 1887, he began construction of what would be known as the murder castle. It had trap rooms and gas chambers and a crematorium and a maze of over 100 rooms, and it had chutes that led people to furnaces, and it was all bullshit. None of that existed at all. And you'll see so many people who say it did, but it didn't. So the real story of what Triple H done is he employed some builders, some steel workers to build his house. He then refused to pay them, and he employed some more. He then refused to pay them, and this went on for quite a period of time, 3 years, in fact. And it was finished off by another contractor, and he was sued, and they took him to court to try and regain the money they lost and all these other things. He then added an additional floor to it when the World's Exhibition was coming, because he planned on using one of the floors as a hotel. Long and short of it, the building was never complete. It was described as unremarkable, and basically it was just a really badly built hotel. And the plans changed, and like someone would be in the middle of making a corridor, and that corridor led nowhere because the plans changed, and the new builder come in and went, "Oh fuck it, we'll stick a wall there."
And then it had like rooms that were where they soundproofed or something. It was like basically like it led to nowhere.
Yeah, and
sort of like you would go down the hallway, let's say, and there's like nothing. It looks like a room, but there's nothing. And I'm just like, is that lazy architecture?
It's just like really badly built.
There's sense in it. I don't know.
So he had secret hidden rooms. That is 100%. They did exist. They weren't used for trapping people. Do you know what he used them for?
I can't remember, but you can tell the audience.
So he used to, one of the scams he used to do is he used to buy very expensive furniture or large items that were worth a lot of money, and he'd buy them on finance with no intention of paying them back. He used to use those rooms to hide them until he would sell them. So what he'd do is he'd go and buy, I don't know, a really expensive furniture set. He'd then hide it in one of these rooms. He'd go and sell it for cash to someone who's very wealthy and give them a saving. He'd then pocket the money and never pay the finance.
I mean, that's like what people do nowadays, like especially those rent-to-own type of businesses. So they'll like, oh, and to get this living room set, this dining set, and then they just like skip town and don't pay for the shit because the interest rate is astronomical. You know, it's crazy. But as for people with no credit, I'm going to assume that Mr. Holmes didn't give a shit about that. It was just like, I need to make money off these people, and then he's a scam artist. It's basically, let me let y'all know, that's what we're getting into. He's a scam artist.
Massive scam artist. And I've got to say, he's a much better scam artist than he was a killer.
I really feel like some of the killings, I don't believe the number at all. Like, I don't believe that. I mean, I know we can't really validate it, but I don't believe it. I think there was only 8 or 9 that were confirmed, maybe, but like, I don't. He was just like a scammy dude with a mustache.
Yeah, he did have an epic mustache as well.
He really did.
Yeah, really, really, really did. So he was a conman, and he would do lots of cons, and it all started when he was in university. So the con he realised in university was he was dealing with cadavers. And him and his professor were grave robbing to get medical cadavers to work on. And what he worked out is he could use these bodies to fake the deaths of his classmates or random people that he knew and claim the insurance. So he would get a cadaver. He would take out an insurance policy for somebody he knew. He would then produce the cadaver as proof that that person had died, and he'd split the money with the person who hadn't died.
So he's pretty smart. I mean, that's pretty shitty and scummy of him. But like, again, a con artist, he was extremely brilliant.
Yeah, what a great way to make money. And he was in a university where there's lots of people like him who aren't earning mega money. So there's people in there who can fake all the documents for him and forge all the paperwork. And
exactly,
he was a very clever con artist. I also want to add that back then, like, doing a con was a lot easier than it is now. There was no, it was a case of someone would type or handwrite out the death certificate and he would hand it to someone who'd go, I need to see the body. He'd go, it's there. And they go, oh, okay, then.
It can literally be like a trash bag full of mango pulp or something stupid, right? It's just like, oh, do you believe it? It's literally, that's the thing, no validity. So you guys, I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm going to throw in a PSA real quick in the middle of our fucking episode. Stop giving us old shit. Love you though, but stop it. I'm bored.
We'll talk. We'll talk on extended cut of what we've got coming for October, because there's no way in the world we're getting something old then.
It better be good.
It will be good. Definitely be good. It was a different time back then. He was married and he had a child before he graduated university, which is just wild to me.
I don't know if that's, well, for that time frame though, would it be that weird? Because people married earlier, right? I mean, I would say like, you don't hear about it on a men's perspective, but you do from a woman's perspective. Like she was 17 or 18, whatever, right? And she's already like, they're getting married. This is their life. They have because, women didn't have any rights to do shit.
No.
So there you go. So, but I guess hearing it from his perspective, I don't know. It's different, but I married him because of the mustache. I'm just going to go ahead and be honest. No, thank you.
He graduated in 1884, and it was this year that his wife moved back home. Apparently, he was very violent towards her.
Yes.
And when this happened, he moved to New York. And the reason he moved to New York is he was accused of being seen with a little boy who later disappeared. He was never charged, and then he fled to Philadelphia as those investigation chased him.
Yeah.
And there's lots of this. So like when he got to Philadelphia, he was working in a drugstore, and he was basically, I don't know what you call him. He's a pharmacist. So he would distribute drugs. And
pharmacist.
Yeah. He gave drugs to a child, and the child died. And again, he was accused
let off on that, but like he never got in trouble for anything. That's the thing. Like, how are you really going to prove that? People died of like fucking farting. Like literally, they died for no reason. Seriously, like literally, they're farting like, and they're dead. And you're like, what happened? Too much gas on your belly, and they're dead. So, how are you really going to pinpoint that? It's just like Jack the Ripper.
Yeah,
it's the same. It's the same thing. He went off and killed all these prostitutes or sex workers, excuse me, but that is what they were called. Sex workers is more PC, and I am going to say that because it's a little more respectful. Do what you do, girl or boys. And so for me, I'm like, well, he killed all these people, but like, there's no way to know.
No.
Like, who's going to be out there? Like, they didn't have fucking surveillance.
No. They barely had police on the street. I mean, the one thing we do know is that up until this point, his name was actually Herman Webster Mugget, which is a terrible name. And when he moved to Chicago, that's when he changed his name to try and hide his identity, and that's when he became Henry Howard Holmes, or Triple H.
I mean, just go with Triple H and start giving everybody the fucking elbow and shit.
Yeah.
Like, just do it.
He was 25 when he moved. He'd already committed insurance fraud, forgery, horse theft, potential murder, at least involuntary manslaughter at this point. When he got to Chicago, he got married again, adding bigamy to his growing list of crimes.
You saw my face. Like, what the fuck he's stealing horses for? What was he doing?
Well, horses were the main. They were the mode of transport. It's like stealing a
Oh,
car.
yeah. Oh, I need this one's faster. It's got the deluxe 4-wheel drive on this one. What the fuck is happening?
Grand Theft Donkey.
Grand Theft Donkey. I cannot. What an ass. What an ass of him.
Let's talk
Anyways.
about the bit people actually want to hear about. Let's talk about his murders.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
But before we do, we'll get some thoughts of other people. That this is the first case we've reached out again and said, "Look, come on, give us some facts. Tell us a little bit about."
Yeah,
this
give us something to chew on.
Skelly, who requested our Ivan Milat case, Skellington found on Instagram. She finds him absolutely fascinated, what he created and the fact that people were none the wiser. I'm really sorry, Skelly. I'm guessing our revelations on the murder castle now have made him a lot less interesting that he didn't create anything. I'm so sorry.
I see her point. I see her point because, like, when you look back at history and you think about, like, the true crime, I can see it being interesting, but only so far is it interesting to me. Like, if you get too far into it, it's just not interesting. It's boring because you're just, you literally have to just read something off of a Google, you know, and be like, okay, well, I think this is it. I think he killed this many people. Well, shit, I don't know. But I get her aspect because I think he, if anything, he was more of a, someone in history that would have gave other people ideas, which is not good. Let's be honest. But still, in that way, for a sick, twisted way, he was an inspiration.
Yeah, what a guy to be an inspiration.
We need to get rid of that mustache.
We've got Eric82 again on Instagram. He put, "Oh, you mean Jack the Ripper?" We're gonna talk about that on Extended Cut. I'm not touching it now.
We're not.
He also added, "The dude was a genius con man. Fascinating how he swindled money."
I mean, that's the most interesting thing about him. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, his cons were really clever. Like I said earlier, where he'd like finance furniture and then sell it to the rich and then pocket the money and never pay the finance. He also done this. He done this with property as well. So he would buy a property on, effectively get a mortgage on a property. He'd then fake the deeds that he owned it outright. He'd sell it to some unsuspecting buyer, pocket all the money for the house, and then skip town. I
mean, that is clever. I mean, don't try that, y'all.
His best one, and this one, I genuinely went, I wonder if I could actually do that now, because that sounds really easy to do.
Don't do it.
He created a fake patent office where people would file their patents for their inventions. So they'd pay him to say, "I've invented this. Can you protect it with a patent?" He'd go, "Yeah, of course I can."
Yeah.
That's X amount of money. He didn't have the ability to patent anything. He just gave him a bit of paper that said it was patented. If the invention was good, he then went and patented it himself and sold the inventions.
I mean, again, he's a good con artist. So if you aspire to be conniving, then read about him or listen to this episode. Of course, he really was. But like the murder stuff is so oddly placed. To me, it just is weird. Like he was weird. And if we get into his back history of him as a child, he kind of has all the tropes. They're all red flags are there. But again, not all of those make a serial killer per se. Let's just say that.
What sort of things was going on in his childhood? Because I'll be honest, that's the one thing that I couldn't find a huge amount about.
Well, he was brought up in an abusive household. His parents were both mentally, physically abusive. Being that was happening to him, he also was killing, dissecting, performing surgery on animals in some woods near his house. And then on top of that, because like I said, those would be red flags for a serial killer, right? You're like killing small animals, dissecting them. I don't know if he kept them or anything, but he was performing surgery. So that's, to me, weird. That's even it's one step worse. And so on top of that, I think he was about 11, and they said it was presumed that he committed his first murder at 11 because a friend of his named Tom disappeared, and they accused him of pushing Tom off of a cliff.
Oh wow!
So it's like at 11 years old, like I have an 11-year-old and I cannot even, I'm like,
no,
it's so weird to me. And like, I read more on his backstory because I always like to read about their childhood because that's the part that fascinates me to see like environment versus, nature versus nurture kind of stuff. And I want to see if like, were they in a bad house?
Yeah.
Were they born evil? And it's been recorded, so to speak, that he is basically like, I am the devil. I was born evil. He said it himself, supposedly, that he was born evil. So the weird thing, with all that being said, we got his fucked up childhood, so we kind of know that could set someone off to become a serial killer. Doesn't mean that they will, because a lot of people do not. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I think I'm having a hard time connecting the two of, you were a con artist. That doesn't necessarily mean you would commit murder. But it just doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. And I find the case, that's where I find it like not interesting for me, because I'm like, all right, had he just been an actual murderer? Okay, cool. Let's get into it.
Yeah, but it's very disjointed. I mean, we'll talk about the murders that we kind of know happened. So there was a guy called Ben. I'm going to try my best. Pitezel, Ben Pitezel, who's now going to be referred to as Ben, who agreed to take part in an insurance scam. So they were going to fake his death, and then they were going to use a cadaver to collect the insurance money, something that Triple H had done numerous times from his teen years right through to now.
Yeah.
So the two of them bought insurance policy, and basically they'd done a bit of traveling and done some other frauds while they were traveling around, because they needed to not be in town when Ben died. It needed to be.
Yeah.
They needed to give that separation to make the con easier. After they got back, Holmes was arrested for one of his other cons, and he done a little bit of time. There's no record of exactly how long he spent inside. We're probably talking months, not years.
I would say not much more than a couple of months, honestly. Probably not.
It wasn't long. And he was released. When he was released, he needed the money quick. So instead of completing the scam that he'd already started, he just went and killed Ben. And he hid Ben's body. What makes this worse is he then convinced Ben's wife, who knew about the scam, that Ben had gone to England. He was hiding so they could finish their scam. But he wasn't. He was dead. And to make it worse, Holmes was worried about the three older children that the couple had, and he was concerned that they were onto him. So he killed the three eldest daughters by stuffing them into a case, drilling a hole into the case and filling it with gas.
I mean, that's fucked up if he actually did that.
Sick.
I mean, that's a horrible way to die.
Yeah, and
That's
to do
awful.
that to children is...
Yeah, that's even worse. Like, I don't like child murders at all.
No. This was the crime that eventually led to his arrest and his execution. He's rumoured to have killed many more. He's confessed to numerous others. He's been accused of 200 plus disappearances that happened in and around the hotel.
I just don't believe that. That's where it's too fabricated to me. And then you say, well, he's confessed to this, and I'm like, well, who the fuck did he tell? Who he tell? How all these people know for sure that he said this shit? I'm sorry. I need a time machine, because I don't. It's harder for me to give it any seriousness, because I'm like,
Heather, you do not need a time machine. Heather in the 1800s would be burnt at the stake as a witch. Because you'd rock up and go, right, what's all this shit? You talk to me now. Tell me what's going on. They'd be like, but you're a girl. You're not allowed to speak to us. How dare you?
I'd be like this. Like, I got another middle finger. I'll find one. Use my toes. I don't know. But like, seriously, I'm trying to figure out who knows all this information and can put it on the internet. How do you know for sure?
Well, you don't. It's all kind of like one historian thinks this. No, it's very wishy-washy. I mean,
I don't care what the historian said. What the fuck do they know? Okay, they said dinosaurs were real. I believe that shit. But now it's the aliens. And I'm like,
oh. This video will come back to haunt you and go viral if when we release this the following week aliens land, because it will be the only clip
I wish they would come to my house.
Do you think the aliens will be really confused though when they turn up and go, right, we're going to overthrow all the world governments and put in a new regime and we're going to run things, and everyone goes, great, brilliant, if you need a hand, let us know.
I'm so confused about aliens anyway, because like I saw signs.
Yeah. That's scary.
I mean, it didn't scare me, but like the worst part about that was like Mel Gibson, but totally not related. But I don't know. Like I think it's just like with ghosts and spirits and stuff. Like I'm just so not a believer.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I also don't want to mess with it just in case it's real. Like I get scared because I'm like, well, I don't know. I've stayed at haunted houses, at a haunted house, but I don't know. I guess it's hard to.
I think you're like me. You're a
skeptic.
Yeah. I'm a non-believer who believes enough that I don't want to fuck with it just in case.
Like, I will tell you, I don't fucks with Ouija boards because I swear on all the aliens in my soul, okay, that I've had an experience, and I'm cutting you off right now because we're talking about this, because these people need to hear this. Do not fuck with a Ouija board because, long story short, when I was like 13-ish, was hanging out with some friends, and they were like, oh, let's go in this abandoned house. It's like, okay, whatever, we're stupid, we're kids. We go in there, and it was the girl's grandmother's house or something. And she had a Ouija board, and she was really into the occult and shit. And so anyway, we were like messing with it. And I swear to bejesus, messing with the Ouija board and that fucking planchette, is that the thing it's called?
Yeah.
I swear to you, it fucking flew off of the Ouija board. I'm not fucking around. And believe me, I don't believe shit, okay? I barely believe my husband. I don't believe anything. I ran out that fucking house. It started thundering and lightning. And like literally, we found out, okay, we were scared to death. We were all like, fuck this. We're never doing this again. Found out about 2 or 3 weeks later that the girl's brother had been doing satanic rituals in the house. Not joking. They found in his old room, there was like dolls hanging with their heads cut off. I'm not joking. Like I have chills. Like I'm not joking. It fucking scared me. So ever since then, I don't fuck with it.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. And we need to find out more about that boy and get him as a case on the.
God, I don't ever know what happened to him. I know that he was like the brother of the girl, but like this was so long ago. I mean, I'm 40, so I have no idea. And he was not okay. I mean, like they found pictures of like Reagan as the exorcist. Like he had like photographs of her like as art, like decor. But he was twisted. And then seriously, it came out like I think it was his mom that was like, yeah, like he was doing weird witchcraft, satanic shit in here. And we're like, okay.
Yeah, no, that's a bit too weird for me. We've gone slightly off topic.
So I don't care.
Yeah, I think our regulars are used to this. If you're new to the show, we do this.
We do this because it keeps you interested. Now continue, sir.
Yes. Hello. Continue, sir. So he allegedly killed a load of other people as well. The first one of these was his mistress, Julia Smythe, and her unborn child. So apparently they both died through a botched abortion that he completed himself because he was a trained surgeon.
He wasn't that fucking trained. And also, I think that happened all the time there. Just saying, like, they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, I do as well. There was sisters, Wilma and Anna Williams, who disappeared when Anna come to visit Wilma. So Wilma was working for Holmes. Anna come to visit. Something happened, and those two were never, ever seen again. There was Emmeline Sinigrad, who was apparently another failed abortion. He killed someone else through a second failed abortion. There was John, I hate these names. Why did they not have normal names in the 1800s?
I know. I'm trying to see where you're at so I can.
John
Debril.
Debril.
I think Debril is better. Yeah.
Yeah. He was killed in public view in a drugstore. So in a drugstore, he had a heated discussion with Holmes. And this is when Holmes was a pharmacist. And Holmes allegedly took a black liquid and poured it down his throat. He later told police it was for medicinal purposes, and he'd never seen a patient react like that. But this was the 1800s. They had no way of testing what it was, and they just took the pharmacist's word. He killed someone in full view of effectively a public gallery in a shop and just went, "Oh, I was trying to help him." And the police went, "Oh, okay. Sorry to have bothered you, Mr. Holmes. Have a nice day."
Well, that's just how it was, bruh. That's how it was. Like, everybody was like, "Oh, I killed George." And they're like, George had encephalitis. And then they were like, "What is that?" And then the aliens came down. And then nobody knows anything because that's how crazy this shit is.
Yeah. There's also a long list that I'm going to quickly brush over because we know nothing about how these people died or where they went.
Don't mess up the names. Get them right.
Emily Van Tassel, Dr. Rustler, Kitty Kelly. That sounds like a porn name. John Davis, Harry Walker, Milford Cole, and Lucy Burbank all went missing while working or visiting the castle. Holmes confessed to all of these murders when he was arrested. But
I bet he did.
At a confession in the 1800s, this is not a confession where detectives are sat down nicely interrogating you. This is a confession where he's being beaten to get the confession. That's how confessions happened in the 1800s.
Not me. I would have been really good FBI type person because, like, I know when people are lying.
Yeah.
And I would have just been like, shut up.
He was arrested in November 1894, and he was charged with Ben's murder. So Ben Petzel. It reached trial in October 1885, and it had become clear at this point that he'd killed the 3 children as well. Mm-hmm. He was found guilty and he was sentenced to death. Following his sentencing, he confessed to killing 27 people and the attempted murder of a further 6. But this was a paid confession because he confessed this to a local newspaper for $7,500.
Well, that was a lot of money, though. I mean, geez, that would have been like $1 bajillion then.
$7,500 in the 80. But
did you do it for inflation?
bear with, caller. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it now.
Oh gosh, that's really inflated. I don't math, y'all.
Nor do I normally. $7,500 in 18. What would that be worth today? Okay, so they would have paid him.
We don't know.
Jesus Christ. I would have sold my story for that as well. I would have confessed to anything.
Yeah.
It's $224,000.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I knew it was a big chunk of change. I knew it wasn't going to be in the millions, but it was going to be that's a nice little chunk of change. You got that shit laying around? The hell you don't. So take it.
$250,000 to confess to something. Yeah, he's taking that. And the stupid thing is, did he actually? The one thing I struggle with this is why would he confess? Because he's not going to get anything out of it. He's never going to see that money. He's been sentenced to death.
Yeah, I don't know if it was for the notoriety, like the whole, how some serial killers tend to, they do it for the 15 minutes of fame, in quotations, but like that's why they do it, because they want to go down in history as something, right? So like they know they're going to die, they're going to be executed, whatever. But they know in 20, 40, 50 years from now, people are going to say, that guy, like they're going to be known for something, whether it be nefarious and bad or not.
It's their legacy
to be known.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
May 7th, 1896, he was hung. It was noted that his neck did not break, and instead he suffocated for 15 minutes.
Fuck that though, bro. Like for real, the way they did.
No,
y'all let me just jump off a building like Midsummer style. I ain't trying to. No.
Holmes had a fear, and his fear was his grave being robbed, because it's obviously something he'd done his entire life, robbing other people's grave. He insisted that his coffin was encased in solid concrete to stop grave robbery, which I found really ironic. That was his biggest fear, was one of the things that he'd done. It is,
but he's also be dead, so like, how's he gonna know?
Well, they did do it. They did do it. It was in his will, and he paid for it. I'm guessing that's what that money he got paid for, to encase his coffin in concrete. It is. Give me
that money, stupid. I would have found something better to do with it. I'm like, when you're dead, not to be morbid, but like when you pass on, you're dead. What are you gonna do? Unless you believe in the afterlife and all of that. But like, if you're dead, how do you even know that somebody upheld your wishes?
Yeah, I'm very much when I'm gone, use all the bits of me you possibly can to help someone else. Stick the rest of it in a fire and just have done with it.
Well, I know, like, right, I want somebody to make me into a necklace. Like, you can do that shit. Like, they can cremate you. Bitch, I won't, wear me. I'm going to tell my husband that if I die before him, Jesus Christ, please, Jesus, if you're up there listening, don't let me die before him. I got to live a long, long time. But I'm just saying, like, if I did, bitch, you wear me as a necklace.
Yeah.
Wear me.
Following several investigations in the early 2000s, it was thought that Holmes may have completed the greatest con ever. And there was evidence pointing to the fact that he actually escaped the hangman's noose. It was alleged that he paid a man who was unwell and poor to take his place using the money
to pretend to be him.
Yeah, using the money that he was given. There was so much mounting evidence on this that in March 2017, Delaware County Court approved the request of scientists and Holmes' descendants to exhume his remains. The concrete coffin was opened to find the remains in good condition. Even the mustache was still in place.
No, however, that's nasty.
Yeah. However, there was no viable DNA to work with, because when they opened it, basically everything started falling apart.
Exactly.
It was at this point where they referred to dental records. And when I say dental records, they were basically drilling in and taking the inners of his dental to do DNA.
Yes. Yeah.
What they found will absolutely stagger you, and you're going to have to wait till extended cut for me to tell you what that is. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, but that is the hook, along with we are going to talk about whether he was Jack the Ripper or not.
Well, I don't believe that, but we'll talk about it, and we'll get... look, we're going to talk about so much wild shit that you better keep your underwear on tight, because this will be fun as fuck.
Extended Cut is also going to feature our very first ever True Crime Corner. So this is where one of our listeners has shared their brush with a murderer, and it is wild.
It's the craziest shit. I'm pretty sure I have shared something with a murderer at some point.
Yeah, I have, and we spoke about this, but we'll discuss that.
We did.
We'll discuss
talk about
that.
it and extend it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, if you like the show, to leave us a 5-star review. Tell a friend. We've got loads of merchandise at yourunpodcast.com if you want to wear something and show your love for true crime. Heather's sporting it now. If you're watching on YouTube.
I gotta pick it up.
Yeah. Whereas I'm wearing this one.
Yeah, I thought when he first stood up, I was like, I thought it said, ask me about my wiener. And I was like, I thought that movie's really funny. That's actually a film.
The thing is, I still can't believe you haven't asked me about my ninja disguise.
Well, I'm sorry. Please tell me about your ninja disguise.
Okay.
Maybe I'm so stupid that
I'm going to tell you about my ninja disguise. Hold on 1 second.
Oh my dear God, y'all! I cannot believe I got a podcast with this fool. I've been knowing Scott. I've been knowing Scott for some years now already, and this fool over here gonna pull up his shirt Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.
You're seriously grade A, top choice dad vibing with that. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
It was a gift for my children.
Exactly.
My children. Anyway, now I've embarrassed myself. Possibly that may be censored out on YouTube. I don't know what their guidelines are on male boobies.
Did you show your titties? I didn't see your titties. Let me tell you something. Y'all don't let me just PSA for you ladies. Your titties. If you have a baby, don't be showing them shits. Me and my friend Mary, we know Mary. We've been talking about it at Lady Crisis 7. Y'all go at her, but don't come at her like that. Yeah, man. Babies fuck your body up. So don't worry about your boobies. I didn't even see any. So it's totally fine.
We are back on the 1st September with Extended Cut. And on Extended Cut, we've got all those great things I told you about. We're also going to tell you about the very special theme we have for our October episodes, because we're going down a path of true crime we've never trod before. And I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm excited. More excited?
Excited, Is that a word? We can make up words on this show.
I think it's more excited.
We're excited, But
whatever.
Until then, Heather, take it away.
Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It went off the rails. We usually do that. But this was a super fucking boring case, and we had to liven it up. But we want you to stick around for Extended Cut September 1st. But until then, stay safe, stay spooky. See you later, guys.
See you later. Bye-bye.
True crime. True crime. True crime. True crime. True crime.
Your true crime. You want the boring stuff? Shit. You in the wrong place.
I hear shots. Okay, ma'am, calm down. What kind of shots?
I was branching out. That's when the cannibalism started. Eating of the heart and the arm muscle.
People say Ted Bundy didn't show any emotion. There must be something in that. I showed emotion. You know what people said? See, you really can get violent and angry.
As long as I can reach in your mind and control your fear because you're a coward, I'm going to play any game and I can play on you all the way to the White House.
The cops knew who I was and let me become a serial killer.
Making me feel that they were a part of me.
Give me the fire department or the police or the paramedics. Somebody. I don't care. You decide.
Hey, shots fired! Shots fired!
Well, we ain't like everybody else.